Have you ever been handed a task due in 2 whole weeks, and then, somehow, found that it took you almost exactly 2 weeks to finish? It stretched and stretched right up until the very last moment. But here's the strange part. If that very same task had been due tomorrow morning, you'd probably have finished it tonight. Same task. Far less time. And yet, somehow, still done. It turns out there's a name for this curious little trap. It's called Parkinson's law. So let's define it clearly. Parkinson's law says that work expands to fill the time available for its completion. In other words, a task quietly swells up, like gas filling a container, until it takes up every last minute you give it. Give yourself 1 hour to answer your emails, and it will somehow take a full hour. But give yourself just 10 minutes for those same emails, and you'll often be done in 10. The work, quite simply, reshapes itself to fit the time you've set aside for it. Which means more time doesn't always mean more gets done. Often, it just means the same work, stretched thinner. So why does this keep happening to almost all of us? Because when we have plenty of time, the task simply doesn't feel urgent. And what isn't urgent, we happily put off. All that spare time quietly invites 3 things: procrastination, perfectionism, and endless distraction. First comes procrastination. There's no rush, so we tell ourselves we'll simply start tomorrow. Then comes perfectionism. With time to spare, we tinker and polish, long after the task was already good enough. And finally, distraction. The looser the deadline, the easier it is to wander off to something else. The tricky part is that all of this still feels like work. We feel busy. We feel productive. But often, we're not really doing more. We're simply stretching one task across far too much time. And once you notice this pattern, you'll start to see it absolutely everywhere. Take the classic student. An assignment is set, with 4 generous weeks. 3 of those weeks vanish with almost nothing done. Then the final week becomes pure panic. The work didn't really need 4 weeks. It simply waited, patiently, for the deadline to arrive. Or think about meetings. A meeting booked for 1 hour will almost always last 1 full hour. Even when everything that truly mattered could have been said in 15 minutes. Or think about working from home. A simple job that should take 20 minutes somehow spreads itself gently across the whole afternoon. In every single case, the time was available, so the task quietly expanded to take it. Different people, different tasks, but always the same quiet law at work. So how do we beat Parkinson's law, and take some of that time back? The secret is beautifully simple. If work expands to fill the time available, then give it less time to fill. There are a few powerful ways to do this. Set tighter deadlines. Break big tasks into smaller pieces. Use a timer. And deliberately limit the time you allow. Instead of telling yourself a task is due on Friday, challenge yourself to finish it tonight. Give a single task just 25 focus minutes, with nothing else allowed, and watch how much you get done. A small amount of pressure, it turns out, has a wonderful way of sharpening our focus. And you may be genuinely surprised by how much more you achieve, in far less time. So here's the takeaway to carry with you. Very often, the real problem was never the amount of work in front of you. It was the amount of time you quietly allowed that work to take. So give your important work a little less room to spread, and you'll be amazed how neatly it fits. If this made you rethink your to-do list, subscribe and stay with me. Next time, another hidden rule quietly shaping your work and your life.